Hello, lovely people, and hello, pre-service teacher. Another for the episode of the teaching profession. Here, we are going to discuss a meaningful discussion regarding the global framework for professional teaching standard. But before continuing with the discussion, I would like to thank my group for making this video presentation a successful one, namely Rana Labnao, Jenna Frenchie Molina, and Rachel May Satsat for this effective video. So I hope for those pre-service teachers that are watching, I hope you will continue watching the remaining minutes of this video. Let's go! So of course, as a pre-service teachers, we have these learning outcomes which we are expected to learn and the end of the discussion. First is to define the global framework for professional teaching standards. Second, in your screen, of course, we prepared a presentation. Identifies the three major categories of situating professional teaching standards for teachers. And lastly, the importance of recognizing the several limitations of this teaching standards framework. So to start up, we have this quotation here. Teaching professionalism is not negotiable. Just as would we never want unqualified surgeons operating on our children, we don't want our young people to be taught unqualified teachers. So you have this idea already of how this global framework for professional teaching works. So basically, a global framework for professional teaching standards on your screen. Of course, we have prepared a presentation. It says there that it focuses on clarifying and specifying teaching standards aimed at enhancing equitable and quality education for all. So, in the global framework for professional teaching standard, it focuses on the student learning centered teaching. So basically, we are being practiced, or this is how, or this part, we are being guided as a pre-service teacher on how can we handle, what are the ethical things that we need to learn in order to become an effective and professional educator in the future. So here I have asked you to comment some questions that you want in this episode, and we have 3 questions only that we're going to cater for today's video. So let's go first to the first question. First question says here, it was asked by Rachel May Satsat. She says here, do you follow such standards in order to attain what is expected from you? So basically, yes. We cannot just teach without those standards, no? Of course, we have these standards, and we are going to tackle about it, luckily. So, in a technical or divisional level, research has identified different types of teaching standards. One taxonomy identifies 3 major categories of standards. First is the ethical standards. This is constituted generally in a relatively broad statement of expectations of a profession's nature, ambition, and disposition. So in here, we are, or the future educators are being practiced or being seen as educators already, not just a pre-service teacher, but as an educators already. So here we are guided on how can we act ethically, effectively on becoming professional. Next one, content standard. This is how, or in this way, in this part or this standard, we are, or the pre-service teachers are being practiced on how would they deliver an effective works, paperworks, handouts. These are to test if the content that you are making as an educator is effective for the students that you are teaching. And lastly is the measurement standard, which set the level or quality of teachers' expertise. So in here, the measurement standards, we are being tested, or we are being evaluated of how we teach students, if how we teach them is a quality service or not. So basically, a teaching profession is not just something that you can teach, but this profession requires a lot of expertise to become a better one or to teach the students effectively. Here as well is the 3 categories or domains that are being noted. In your screen there, it says knowledgeable and understanding. So we really need to delve deeper to attain more knowledge and understanding on how can we teach the students. Number 2, practice pedagogy. So basically, a pedagogy is a positive practice on how can we handle different kinds of behavior for different kinds of students. So this would be pretty much hard, but of course we need to practice this because we can't be an educator if we won't do this. Now, another one, or the third one, is the teaching relations. This means how we act professionally when it comes on having a relationship with our students, and it is not romantic, but this means the professional, or how we act professionally while teaching the students when they have concerns or when they raise concerns. How will we effectively resolve their problem inside the classroom? So with that being said, another question here is given to us by Jonah Frenchie Molina. She asked that, as an educator, is it really important to be flexible? So the answer would be, of course, yes. Though it's not impossible for someone to be a teacher if they are having difficulty in being flexible, but of course, and as a future educator, we are really being encouraged to be flexible at all times to deliver a quality service for the students and for the university that we are working. So I hope I have answered your question, Jonah Frenchie. And next, we are down to the 12 principles that underpin the professional teaching standard framework. First is we have quality education is a universal right of children, young people, and adults in the interest of individuals. So we all know that everyone or each of us has the right for education, but only those who are willing and hardworking can and will survive, unfortunately, because there are difficulties while studying. So education is for everyone, but not all has the opportunity to do so or to study. So luckily, if you are one of those who can still study, then you are very lucky for that opportunity. Next one is quality education is predicated on high quality teaching for all students in all circumstances. So in this, it means that when it comes to learning, or as a pre-service teacher, we are required to acquire learnings that we can share to our future students in a way that we can produce them a high quality learning, because in the future, how they learn is a reflection of how we teach. And third one is teachers' work is organized around maximizing students' learning, future life chances, and well-being, in close collaboration with education support personnel and other professionals. So again, like what I said earlier, that how we teach students is a reflection of how we teach, or how the students learn from us is the reflection of how we teach the students. But of course, aside from us, factors such as the parents or the family and other factors affecting their environment of a student is also an important aspect or factor for the students to learn in a more healthy and safe environment for them. Next one is, says teachers are defined as individuals holding formally recognized teaching qualifications and who meet standards of practice that are defined, judged, and recognized through the teaching profession. So we all know that we have this 4 years course, which means in those 4 years course, we are also taught how to be a productive and a healthy professional licensed teacher, of course, and that is why we are being practiced. We are given some tasks that will help us practice our capabilities and skills, and how can we be a future educators in the near future. Of course, we are being practiced in a well-standard system in which the school, especially in our school today where I study in the USTP, they have this standard which they can say if you are really learning from this school, in order for them to produce, of course, professional educators. Next is all teachers should be trained at the university or equivalent institution and have the requisite knowledge, skills, and competences to meet the diverse needs of students. So of course you can't be a professional teacher if you won't have this background wherein the people or the audience would really say that you have learned this thing in a professional way. So that is why also us pre-service teacher, we are now currently learning really hard in our university in order for the university to produce us as a teacher a productive or professional educators. So it says there that it's really impossible or it's really hard for a person to become an educator without a proper training or guidance from its university. Next, the teaching profession is constituted by teachers so defined and alignment in with teachers representative organization. So we have these faculties or organizations that handles the pre-service teachers in order for them to become more effective when they graduated on a university. So it's kind of difficult for them because they are going to be practiced, but it's worth it. Next one is it is in the interest of the community generally and children particularly that only trained and qualified members of the teaching professions be engaged to undertake teachers' work. So in the field of education, only those who who take a serious process of learning or the practice of being educators will be recognized as the people who can teach the students, because of course we cannot let people or we cannot let a person teach students who doesn't have or who didn't go or undertake a presented and well process for becoming a educator. Next one, effective and ethical school organizational practice is built on teachers' professional judgment and the standards of practice defined by the teaching profession. So of course, before going to the field, we are being practiced again and again. We are being practiced in order for us to teach ethically to our students. Next one, or the third one before the last, is members of the teaching profession with leadership and administrative responsibilities in the school and other education institution support teachers at all levels to achieve, maintain, and defend professional standards. So our fellow teachers, of course, if we are a beginner in our field, our fellow teachers who are already in the higher rank, they will also help us to attain or to manage or to handle situations that are pretty hard for us as a beginner. So they will help us or accompany us. Next one, professional teaching standards address and effectively or actively supports universal access to and open opportunities for quality education for all. And next, the teaching profession as a whole and its individual members are ethically and actively committed to supporting the principles, precepts, and standards of teachers, professional practice, and to promoting equitable, inclusive quality of education for all in the interest all students, teachers, and the community. So all of those 12 principles, guys, I won't be mentioning the last one, but to sum up all these principles, it is basically saying that in order for us to become a productive and a effective professional teacher in the near future, we need to undertake a professional process as well. We cannot jump into conclusion that you want to become a professional teacher today, so on the other day you will take an exam. No, it's not like that. It's very impossible. It needs a proper process to become a better educator. Before ending this video, guys, I would like to answer another question, no, just a last question from Rana Labnau. It says there that among the 12 principles that underpin the professional teaching standards framework, which do I think is important? So to answer this honestly, I think all the 12 principles that underpin the professional teaching standard or framework are really important. There's no this is the very important or here is the most very important. There's no such thing as that in the field of education, since all these are being practiced and all these are required for us to become a better educator in the future. So yeah, now to end this, our group prepared a a poll in our social media account, which is the Instagram, for them to answer it. So here in your screen, as you can see, we have my day some questions that can be answered, of course, by people, but only three of them answered, which are my members. So first, there it says, identify what kind of domain and standard is stated below. That is the instruction, and it says here that react heart if it's teaching knowledge and understanding, and react like if it's teaching practice. So first question, it can be taken as given that effective teaching relies on teachers being expert enough at the knowledge, skills, and understanding of particular subjects or learning areas to be able to teach them. Good teachers know and understand their subject, teaching methodologies, and students. In this situation, for those who reacted hard, it is correct. It is knowledge and understanding, so it's very important. I won't be broaden it anymore. Next question. Number 2, effective teaching is crucially determined in this domain, where the practice that most distinctly constitute teaching can be elaborated. Teaching activities manifest in innumerable ways and always reflect a teacher's ambition for and understanding of students' learning, welfare, and development. Again, for those who reacted hard, it is correct that it's teaching and understanding. It means if teaching is a practice, it is a well practice in the field of education. Third one is teaching is inherently constituted in relationships, as well as engaging with students. Professional relationship with colleagues, parents, caregivers, and education authorities are crucial to effective teaching. In this question, the answer is like. It is teaching relations. So in that poll, you can see, or we can evaluate how our members are being learned, or how they acquire our learning, if it is effective or not. To sum up what we have discussed, pre-service teachers, the global framework for professional teaching standard is very important, especially for us pre-service teachers to attain, because this will help us, or a guidance on how will we effectively teach our students in the near future. We cannot just jump into conclusion if we want to become a teacher. We cannot just decide now and then tomorrow we'll become a professional teacher. It's not that. We should undertake a professional and more effective process to become a better one. In that way, we can produce an effective service, not just for the students but also in the university that we are working. So I hope you will acquire those and apply those in your upcoming profession in the near future. So good luck, pre-service teachers, and laban lang!